when you represent several parties, and I've been in this situation in the past, you try and cut a path down the middle of the road so that everybody gets what they want, but there's less adversarial posturing between the parties.
Okay, so let's say everybody's in place, everybody agrees, and you've got a great bunch of folks you're working with.
All right.
So what's the next step? Would it be smart, number one, to find a buyer first and then go through the process of putting things in place, or the other way around? And what kind of a team do you put together when you've decided this, everybody's on board? Then what? What do you do?
Again, you've asked a multifaceted question. Let's start at the beginning. The decision is made to sell. Mm-hmm. Is the seller emotionally prepared not to go to work every day? Does he have outside interests? Is he going to make enough money to support himself in the style to which he has become accustomed in the future when he doesn't have the income coming in from the paycheck he gets every week or every other week, and the ability to run certain personal expenses through the company, which some people may frown on, but it's done more often than not. Then there's the situation where the seller is asked to be a consultant to the new owner. And that has very rarely, in my experience, worked out in the long term. A lot of the sellers who are either ignored by the new management or are not listened to or don't like working for somebody else. They're usually very entrepreneurial and are used to being the boss, and it's not easy for them to change roles.
Now, is that when a non-competing clause comes into
a
contract too? And let's say you don't want to be involved anymore. How does that work? I mean, I can't go across the street and start the same business again, obviously.
Well, you wouldn't want to probably start over again, particularly if you're in advanced years and have spent many years building up your business. Usually this is an exit strategy for an owner. It's a way to realize the fruits of their labor and what they've built up, and to hopefully live comfortably on the income generated from their investments that they make with the purchase price.
Now, getting back to the team, so I'm prepared to sell, and now I have to go out and find a buyer for my business. Who else should I look toward to complete the sale? I understand I obviously have to find a broker of some sort who will find a business that's compatible to mine and these kinds of issues.
There again is a very detailed question with a lot of answers and a lot of parts to it. The team you put together is going to depend on the type of business that you're selling, how complex the business is, how big the business is, the amount of sales, the amount of employees, the type of assets that are being sold. Keeping in mind you can sell either the ownership interest, either the stock or membership interest in an LLC or partnership interest in a partnership, but you also may have labor issues, you may have intellectual property issues. My recommendation is the first part, and it sounds very self-serving, I know when people hear this, but you need a good lawyer and a good accountant right away. Okay. You need some professionals around you, if you don't already have them as a seller, to guide you in the process. And again, I get back to that word process, which hopefully we'll expand on a little later, because it is a process. It's a very detailed process. It has a lot of tentacles to it, and it's important that things be done in a certain order, in an orderly fashion, so that the seller is guided through the process with as little brain damage as possible. A lawyer and an accountant who have been through this before are invaluable in the process because they've been there before, they know what they're doing. Usually a seller has never sold a business before.